Hi, I'm Roamy. Today I'm going to show you two different ways to use the Dooky Carrier Urban Comfort to carry a new baby. Now, generally this carrier doesn't tend to fit from day one. You normally need to wait till they're maybe 2 or 3 months old, just because it's a little bit wide for a newborn. So it's the kind of carrier you maybe move on to after a stretchy wrap, or like basically when baby's sort of a couple of months old. So my demo doll is around 3-month-old size. If you're not sure if your baby is big enough, I'll run through all of that when we're trying the carrier on. So here I have got the Dooky Carrier, and when they come out of the box, you'll likely find that all of the webbing, so all of this stuff, is all tightened away. So if you just unravel that just by loosening that, it means you've got nice long lengths of webbing, and you'll want to do that on the waistband and also on the shoulder straps. So getting it set up before you first use it, you've got these little clips behind the neck. Now the first method I'm going to show you is where we clip behind here. So you're going to want to slide these clips to the very top of the straps. So the bottom bit has got the little buckle bit there, the top is right there. So just slide it to the top on both sides there. On the front you've got this panel here, so just make sure this is folded down. I think in the box it may be clipped up to a taller position. And what I've done is I've just tucked the little clips inside the hood. So you've got these little clips like this. You just want to tuck those inside so they're out of the way. So just sliding them in there, and then make sure this is popped down to the lower setting like that. Now the final thing to do is just tighten up the front. So it's got an adjustable front on here, if you see these little poppers. So you're just going to bring these through and do them up on the narrowest setting. So it's on the third one across, and then do the same on this. This will help to narrow the seat while baby's little. Then as they get bigger, you'll make it wider. So we've got the seat narrowed there, got this piece folded down, and then you've got the clips here to clip behind your neck. Now, as I said, I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. So this is the first method. I'll show you the other method afterwards. So for a younger baby, you're going to wear this fairly high. So when they're bigger, you'll wear this down on your hips or your waist, depending on how tall you are. But when they're little, you wear it higher, and what this will do is it will help to shorten the panel height. So you bring this around. So I'm wearing a black top and a black carrier. Put your hand through the elastic and pass that through, and then you're going to clip that together like that. Then you're going to tighten it up. I find if I bring it to the front and tighten it in front, it's a bit easier than pulling it behind. So tighten that in front so it's nice and snug, and then bring this back around. And you've got your little safety label here. Just tuck that down in between the panel and you. So for the size of baby I've got, which is a sort of 2 to 3 month old size, I'm going to want to wear this fairly high. Obviously it would depend on how long your baby's torso is, and also how tall you are, as how high the waistband goes. But I'll show you once we put them in how we check to make sure it's the right height. I've got it sitting nicely here, and make sure this is sitting level. And then I'm going to pick up my baby. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up baby and hold them with their head on your upper chest. Now, hopefully you can see here that I've got a bit of this panel between me and baby. So the waistband starts here and their bottom is a little bit lower. Now this means that some of the panel will be between me and baby, so that when I scoop it up, it doesn't go up any higher than the nape of their neck or earlobe. So that is the key. The higher the waistband goes, the more fabric will scoop between you and baby, and the shorter the panel will go. So I'm just going to support baby with one hand and then slide this up over their bottom and back. So you can see it's coming up to a little bit below their earlobe. I can move that higher once they're in it. So it's better to have it slightly too low here and then bring it up later than it is to try and get it higher. Sorry, than it is to try and get it lower if it's too high. So you can see here I've got some of the panel scooping between me and baby. Now obviously if this was coming up to their waist or really low, move the waistband lower and then bring it up again, and then it will go a bit higher. So I'm going to leave it at that position for now, because I think that will move up nicely once I put it on. So support baby by holding one hand across their shoulders, and just check their legs are sitting comfortably. You should have their knees sort of gently tucked towards you, which my dolls are doing. So support them across their shoulder, put one strap over one shoulder and the other one over the other. Now, first time you do this, you may need to tighten these a little bit. You want these so they're a little bit loose before you tighten them up, but not so loose that baby's not going to be held securely. So if you find these are super loose, or mine's got twisted around there. If you find these straps are really loose, just tighten them a little bit so they're kind of sitting relatively securely, but you do want a bit of slack because of how we're going to tighten them. So go is over your shoulders, I'm going to hold one strap here and one strap here and just gently slide my hands up. Now what this does is it holds baby against me even if the straps are a bit loose. And then behind, I'm going to find the clip and clip that together. Okay, keep hold of the clip and then hold baby, because that just keeps them nice and taut. So everyone's got different flexibility. If you find clipping behind your neck difficult, the next method is likely to work better for you, but this tends to be the quickest method. So we've clipped it together. Now the first time we use it, you're going to keep holding baby across their shoulders, and then you're going to reach round and pull this one straight forward towards baby. Hold them with the other hand and do the same with this one. And you're going to want to do it a little at a time until they're both evenly tightened like that. Okay? And if you're not sure if they're evenly tightened, once their baby's feeling snug, just bring these two forward and they should be the same length. Obviously, if one's here and one's there, you'll know that one strap's much tighter than the other. So we can now let go of baby, as I've just done. So key things are, firstly, you can see their face and they've got clear airways. You want to make sure they're held nice and snug so they can't slump. And check this is coming up nicely to their earlobe or nape of neck. So if it's not coming quite high enough, just take this top edge and give a very gentle bounce. Can you see that naturally brings it up higher? So it's much easier to bring it a little bit higher once they're in than it is to try and get it lower. Now, once they've got full head control, which is normally around sort of 5 months age, they can have their arms over the top. So instead of this coming up to their earlobe, it can go down to their armpits, but you never want it to go any lower than their armpits. Okay, so again, checks are, you can see their face and they've got clear airways, they're nice and snug, and it is going up no higher than the earlobe or nape of neck. Now with the hands will normally be up sort of round on your chest or out through the sides, and just check their little legs are coming towards you in a comfortable position. So if they're not, if they're kind of going backwards slightly, just take their thighs and just gently tilt their knees towards you and bring them in. So it's a kind of that sort of movement. So you're bringing their knees towards you and then in, just to make sure they're seated comfortably with their weight on their bottom and their knees coming towards you. Once you've got it all set, this method's really nice because once you've clipped, that's all you have to do if you're wearing it again. So next time I use this, I bring this up, clip behind the neck, done. Once you've got it set as well, you can tighten these out the way. So if you remember at the beginning, we unrolled them, we can now roll them up. So I'm doing this over some light, there we go. So you roll this up like this. And then you pass that little elastic here back over. And what this does is it basically just tidies away any excess webbing. I can get it to go over nicely. There we go. So bring that over like that. Just tidies it away, and you can do the same with the waistband as well, so you haven't got a big long tail. Obviously, if you're sharing it with somebody else, you may not want to tidy it away. Depends on how much adjusting you'll need to do, but that's how you can tidy them to make it a little bit neater. So to get baby out, we're just going to reverse what we've done. So you're going to support baby across the shoulders and unclip like that. Bring one strap off one shoulder, the other off the other, and then hold baby on the inside, and then you can carefully lift them out, and then it's all ready to use again. So the alternative method of doing it up, so this method takes a little bit longer, but it's really good if you don't like clipping behind your neck and find that hard. So instead of having the clip right at the top of the strap, I'm going to move it right down to the bottom. I'm just sliding it right down to the bottom so it's down there, and then I'm going to pre-clip the straps together. So it's basically like a rucksack. I've done those up straight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen off these shoulder straps. So you want to have just enough webbing that you can reach it behind you here. So about sort of maybe 10-15 centimetres, but you need it loose enough that you're going to be able to pass this up and over your head. So I've just got that like that. Okay. Again, if you're not sure about the positioning, have a watch at the start of the video because it shows you where to position the waistband. So this is just for how to do it up. So we've got these two clipped together with enough webbing hanging down that I can grab it behind. And with this strap, you're going to want to adjust how tight it is depending on how broad you are. I tend to find starting with it fairly snug, but obviously if you're broader, you're going to want it a little bit wider. So that's one thing you will probably need to have a little bit of a play with, just depending on your size. Okay, so I've got that hanging down there. Now I'm going to pick up my baby. Now, just like with the previous method, you want to hold them with their head on your upper chest and make sure you've got a little bit of that panel between you and them, so their bottom is over the fabric rather than above it. Okay, so the more fabric you have between you and baby, the shorter the panel will be when you bring it up. So support them in this nice kind of curled up position. Their hands will normally be up on your chest. And you're going to slide your hand under the panel, stroke it up over their bottom and back so you're holding them with the material. And then you're going to take this clip that you've got done up here and you're going to pass this up and over your head. Put one arm through one strap, hold baby with the other hand and put the other arm through the other strap. So you've literally passed that over your head and put your arms through the straps. Now bring any slack down and forward so these go nice and taut by baby. Then you're going to reach up and find this piece of webbing here and just put it down and forward a little bit. You don't want to totally tighten one until you've done the other. So down and forward. So you're going to do these a little at a time until baby is held nice and securely. So make sure you do them one at a time, otherwise if you fully tighten one, it'll be really tight and then the other one will be really loose. So once baby feels held secure, you can let go. Have a little check with these two at how long they both are. Obviously if they're really uneven, you can lengthen or tighten them. If you do need to lengthen, you can just lift the buckle here just to lengthen it. So just lift that with a finger and then you can retighten it. So key things are, you can see baby's face and they've got nice clear airways. You want them nice and snug against you so they can't slump. And check this, it's going no higher than the earlobe or nape of neck. If it's not quite going high enough, just take this top edge and just give a very gentle bounce and that'll bring it a bit higher. So it's much easier to get it higher once they're in it than it is to try and bring it lower. So if you're not sure, have it a little bit too low and then we can always bring it up rather than having it up to here and trying to get it lower. You also want to check their legs are sitting comfortably. So you ideally want their knees to be coming up towards you with their bottom below their knees. So my doll's sitting in a fairly good position, but if baby's legs are sort of going backwards slightly, just take hold of their thighs by their knees. And what you're going to do is you're going to give a little lift and tilt their knees towards you and then bring them in. So it's like a curve like that, just to make sure they're sitting comfortably, which takes any pressure off their tummy, which is particularly good if they've recently fed. So again, checks are nice clear airways, nice and snug against you, carrier no higher than nape of their neck or earlobe. Now once they've got full head control, they can have arms over the top of the carrier rather than having it to here, but make sure it's never any lower than their armpits. Yeah, so that's basically it. So to get baby out from this position, there's two ways we can do it. You can either reach round and find the clip and unclip it if you can reach it. If you can't, then reach your finger underneath and you're going to lift that clip and lift this one while holding your baby just to loosen it off. Now again, everyone's got different flexibility, so some people will find that easy, some people won't. Everyone's different, so it's about trying it in both methods and seeing what works best for you. Now if you've loosened those, you should then find you can actually reach that clip here, or you can fully loosen these off if you prefer, whatever works best for you. So have a play with the different methods and see what works best. I'm now going to unclip that one and then bring these back over my shoulders like this and then lift baby out. And that's how to use the Dooky Carrier Urban Comfort to carry a baby in 2 different ways.